Hi, welcome to episode 3 of What We Do, Walking Through Toronto. First episode, we took you down to the beaches. The second episode, we took you down a very long-ish street with a big, the world's longest fence.
Craven Road.
Today, we're taking you through a little-known aspect of Toronto. Sometimes in Toronto, you find these things by accident. How did we find this little alley, Dave? You remember?
Yes, we were just, what we do is we like to wander around and find interesting ways to go, and we stumbled upon it. We went down a dead-end street is what we did, and then we discovered the alleyway.
And there was a little sign saying, no entry. So we entered. That's what we did.
This sign says no parking.
So we better stop parking and get going. We are just west of Pape, just east of Pape, just west of Brooklyn on Dundas Street right now. And we're about to go down one of Toronto's little treasures, a back alley. Come on.
Let's get off the busy street.
Yeah.
Impressive. Nice.
The thing with a back alley is you never know what you're going to find. In the winter, it's totally different than in the summer or the spring. There's lots and lots of trees in the summer to make it lovely and green and lush and beautiful. It makes it really fun in the summer. But winter is nice too.
Like washboard. Oh, the pops are sweeter and the taste is new.
Thanks.
They're shot with sugar through and through. People are doing interesting things in their backyards.
Backyards and upper backyards.
Which is the thing that alleyways will do for you, right? You're allowed to look into people's backyards.
That's right. You can walk boldly down the back alley looking at whatever you want.
It's a little bit of snooping, but we're harmless.
Snooping. Yeah, snooping is harmless. There's trees being grown up on the 3rd floor up there. It's kind of amazing, growing trees. And look at this thing probably from the old factory, whatever that thing is, right on the ground there.
One of our viewers will know exactly what that is.
This thing. What is it? Oddly. Hideaway Park. Would you think that a back alley would have a park? It does. It's called Hideaway Park. So for people who aren't on this street or in this neighborhood, you'd never think it. And this is Audley Street, A-U-D-L-E-Y.
Audley Avenue.
Audley Avenue, not O-D-D-L-Y, A-U-D-L-E-Y, Audley Avenue, very short street. Beautiful old houses and a couple of new houses on it. Always interesting. And the great thing about this park, it's also a dog run. Parts of it is a dog run and a child run.
Yeah, and I know it's called A-U-D Audley, but I prefer to think of it as Audley.
Now imagine the great view that these people have from their 3rd floor balconies, facing west, facing sort of downtown. So during the fireworks, we always talk about fireworks, they would have a great view. And there's trees. Imagine being able to sit out there in an evening with a glass of wine. I find alleys the most fascinating part of Toronto. But I don't know if they're fascinating on film.
You're an alley cat. Alley kitten.
The only way to find out where an alley goes is to walk to the end of the alley. And most of them end on a street, but some of them do not. This way, we are not sure. This way, we know it keeps going and it goes to an actual street.
But at the end of that street is a dead end sign, which is if you didn't walk to the end of the dead end, we would never have found this alley.
So never read a dead end sign if you're in an alley, because it might not be completely true.
And if you didn't come down here, you wouldn't see this.
This beautiful
sort of, it's very atmospheric, I find.
Art.
It has a bit of darkness to it, which appeals to me. Pull handle. I love the little decorative element.
This, vines, ivy, it's very pretty.
Yeah, in the
it's
summertime
very
it's
pretty.
Beautiful here. I kind of like this wintertime look to these.
It's kind of bucolic. You feel you're almost in the country. Maybe that's what a back alley is for.
It's like
you feel like
out
you're in the country.
here is another field.
Okay, this is a first. What's this? I know, it's a green bin, but it's up, it's raised. I guess, what did you say, Dave?
Well, maybe it's so the raccoons can't get in it,
Maybe.
but you know, any
A
self-respecting
raccoon
raccoon is going to get up
not
on
gonna be
here.
stymied by this.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a floating green bin. Congratulations. Is another street whose name we don't know. But look how pretty it is.
Yeah.
And the street at the end, of course, is Pape.
It's the street without a name when you approach it from an alley.
That's right. If you don't know where you're going, you still don't know where you are.
Good point. What would you like to name it, Marsh? What would you call this street?
Green Bin Alley. Floating Green Bin Alley.
I can't imagine that what it's actually called is better than that.
Here is another floating thing. It's Bell. It says caution, Bell.
Don't touch it.
So I say floating, but really it's attached. But it looks like it's a floating thing. It's up there with the green bin.
You know what the performing thing says on it, embossed
What?
on the side? Performed.
Performed.
Job done.
Job done. Performed.
Move on. We're
Bell,
done here.
thank you.
We
Yeah.
performed our task.
Performed. Somebody's getting their internet. They hope. Play us a tune, Dave.
One time I was standing on a highway. One time I was standing in the snow. But I prefer the alleyway. I prefer the alleyway. The alleyway is where I like to go.
Here's another street. We don't know the name of it, but Pape is still down there. Pape has not moved.
I prefer to leave this street without a name.
Without the street without a name.
That's right.
Does this say gonads? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I thought I saw it. Maybe it said something.
Yeah,
and
it
somebody,
said something
and some-
untoward, and they had to.
It said something unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
This is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
And but it's corrugated. Is this corrugated? It's more.
Yes, it's corrugated metal.
But there's a space in between. You see.
Yeah, it's large whale corrugation.
Let's hear Let's hear what it sounds like.
That's practically musical. This alleyway finishes further along, and beyond Pape there is another little alleyway, but we're going to go down this alleyway and end up, because last time we ended up at a nice little coffee shop, there's another coffee shop in this neighborhood that we're going to end up at. So
Oh boy.
Oh boy, will we go in though? Do I want a coffee? Maybe.
You can make the decision when you get there. Look at that old building. What's that?
That's the emergency station.
Well, let's just go down and see what happens.
Okay. That was Louvain that we were walking along, because I can see the sign Louvain, and we walked just south a little bit to get back on to the back alley. So that's what we're going to try to do. There's a little further to go, and then we're going to end up at Queen Street. And there's some murals here with Porky Pig, Daffy Duck,
Look at.
and who's that supposed to be? James Dean?
I would say that's James Dean on weed. I'm scared by that.
Yeah, look at this. I like this very much. It's a warren of back alleys.
This way, without the leaves on it, you can really see what the trees are. Just
Yeah.
the trunks are kind of
Yeah.
doing this crazy thing. It was great.
It's nice to see there's so many trees in Toronto, right in the downtown area of Toronto.
This way is where we want to go.
Away, that, away, that, this away, now,
1, 2, 3.
What?
Is it thick? No, it's not thick.
It's pizza thick.
My opinion is it's Boston, but I could be wrong. One way going south.
This is pretty much the end of the alleyway. It goes a little bit further past a factory sort of loft area, but we're going south on what we think might be
Boston Avenue, I believe. We'll clarify for
We'll
that.
clarify once we get
that
there.
for you at the end of the block.
So here we go. We're going to end up at Te Aro Coffee. Which side do you think it is on? That side or this side? I'd say it's this side.
We're going across the street. We're at the corner of Boston Avenue and Queen Street East. We're going across the street to Te Aro Coffee.
So this is Te Aro. This is where we like to come. And in the spring and summertime, this whole area is full of tables. You can have coffee, bring it out. It's lovely. Right downtown Toronto, literally-ish.
Look across the street. It's a pizza place. What's it called?
Pizza thick. It's
It's
not
not-
just thick. it's pizza
pizza thick.
Thanks for coming to What We Do. Again, we'll see you next time. Another interesting walk in Toronto.